This is Sam Kirby, host of Cinema Stories. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
How's it going, everybody? This is Keith.
And Katie, hosts of Coffee with Keith and Katie, here on Public House Media.
Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. When you're done here, I hope you'll check out our show, Coffee with Keith and Katie,
where we talk about our lives and relationship over a cup of coffee.
A new episode airs on Facebook Live every Monday and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of Coffee with Keith and Katie.
Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Hello everyone, it's hashtag No Filter Friday here on Public House Media, and I have food on the way, but for now I'm drinking water because I'm still kind of nasty from Mexico. It's been like 3 weeks. I just can't get over the bronchitis. I just can't. I'm still a little chesty. So I didn't think we were going to be revisiting TJ Miller, but we're revisiting TJ Miller because people keep asking me about it. And what I thought was interesting when I read, because he had a situation happen, but at the bottom of the article, it like brings up his, girl from college accuses TJ Miller of fucking whatever. And like him and Kate had a flawless curve game for that story, but this whole situation is not. It's rough. Like, it is really, really rough. I don't know how they're gonna work on this, and the reps are gonna have to respond, even though it has nothing to do with it. Like, the media is gonna still, take those clicks where they can, so they're gonna reopen his can of worms. But anyway, the moral of the story is that apparently my dear sweet friend TJ was on an Amtrak train somewhere on the East Coast, and he called it, he was wasted, he was drunk, and he called in a fake bomb threat, and the police took him seriously because he called from the bathroom, and he's like, "This is TJ Miller. I've never made a call like this before, and this woman needs to be checked. She's carrying explosives, blah, 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 blah." So they go check this chick on a train. Turns out it's not the same train that TJ's on. So they go check his train. So now they falsely checked 2 trains and 2 people for this alleged, bomb threat that didn't pan out. And now he's in trouble for it. Let me see if I can find the article, because it's just wild. But that's what happens to you when you're way too big of a deal to be on an Amtrak train. I don't know what's wrong with them. You have plenty of money, travel privately and get a security guard. It's not that hard. TJ Miller arrested for fake bomb threat. Okay, so this is the Variety article here. Friday, TJ Miller arrested for allegedly reporting a false bomb threat. Former Silicon Valley star TJ Miller was arrested on Monday night at LaGuardia Airport in New York for allegedly reporting a false bomb threat in March. According to the United States Attorney for the District of Connecticut, Miller, 36, was charged with intentionally conveying to law enforcement false information about an explosive device on a train traveling to Connecticut. He appeared on Tuesday before the U.S. District Judge in New Haven and was released on a $100,000 bond. The charge carries a maximum of 5-year prison term. According to a press release from authorities, the actor allegedly called 911 on March 18th in New Jersey and reported, this is New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, there's a whole tri-state area problem. March 18th in New Jersey reported that he was on an Amtrak train traveling from Washington, D.C. towards New York City's Penn Station, and that a female passenger has a bomb in her bag. A bomb squad found no evidence of any explosive devices on the train. The officer who spoke to the comedian who kept changing his description of the woman suspected that Miller was under the influence of alcohol. Miller told the officer, "This is the first time I've ever made a call like this before. I'm worried for everyone on that train. Somebody has to check that lady out." Investigators found that the Emoji Movie star, that's a brutal credit for him. He's done so many things and he chose Emoji Movie. That's a dig from Variety, in case you were wondering. Found the Emoji Movie star had actually been traveling on a different train than the one he reported. Inspectors examined the second train and again found no explosive materials. An Amtrak attendant said Miller had been removed from the train in New York because he was intoxicated. The attendant also advised that Miller had been involved in hostile exchanges with a woman who was sitting in a different row from him in the first-class car, according to a press release. The complaint alleges that Miller, motivated by a grudge against the woman, called 911 to relay false information about a bomb on that train. This matter is being investigated by the Federal Bureau of Investigation Joint Terrorism Task Force, Connecticut State Police, Metropolitan Transportation Authority Police Department, Amtrak Police Department, and Westport Police Department. See? Mexico, Cancun cough, still holding on. I sound terrible. This is where this article gets interesting. It's here at the bottom. Miller's reps could not be reached for comment. Miller made headlines late last year after allegations resurfaced about him sexually assaulting a woman when he was in college. He strongly denied the accusations. What are the chances that the chick he was having a tiff with on this Amtrak train that he had no business on was a girl? Because they didn't mention her name. And they also didn't mention her name. They didn't mention the girl's name when that initial situation came out about him. And it kind of I'm just speculating. But it seems like there is a good possibility that was the chick. They ran into each other. He was wasted and just went off the rails because she essentially kind of did the same thing to him. And now he's in really big legal trouble for it. So, I mean, he has a new Deadpool coming up and another huge movie that's not Emoji Movie. He needs to get it together. And so does everybody else. You have the money, travel privately. There's no point in sitting on public transportation of all places if you can, charter a helicopter or a plane or something. Save yourself the headache, and the germs. Listen to me. I'm still sick from Cancun. Maybe if I flew private, I wouldn't have these problems. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But anyway, so we're also going to talk about Dan Schneider of Nickelodeon. I'm going to try it. I'm going to take a second and share its broadcast if I can figure it out. That way we have, we can have a homey discussion because that's what doing the show live is for the back and forth. That's the whole point. That is the whole point. Share. Is it going to work? Yes, no, maybe. Share to a page. Share. I was going to say share, whatever that means. No, not sharing this public house media. That's ridiculous. Posting as. Give me options. Me. Posting as myself. Because I don't need to post as anything else. But there's really no reason for an Amtrak situation like that. And really, too, he should, anybody that conveys false information to the police should be held accountable for their actions. I don't care what state you're in. If you're an adult, if you're actually a functioning adult person, you should be able to control your mouth. And if you can't, maybe don't drink, or maybe don't do the stuff that makes you lose your mind and your teeth. So, his reps haven't done anything about it that I can find anyway. They haven't said anything. So, but I mean, they're going to have to respond. He has too many two big movies coming out. Like, they're going to have to say something about it. And really, too, if he gets in any trouble, like if he has to go to jail or something, which I don't think he will. Like, I think he'll just end up being able to throw money at the situation and figure it out and whatever. But he'll probably end up having to go to rehab or detox or something, because you can't just get away with behaving like that. He'll certainly be banned from Amtrak for life, that's for sure. Because that's probably a good thing, though. Like, yeah, I had a bunch of Emmys from my show and been all over the place. All my movies are blockbusters, minus that one emoji movie nonsense. I'm also banned for life from Amtrak, from any and all Amtrak trains. I feel like that's pretty solid. I'm doing my show from a robe tonight because I can't wear clothes anymore today. Like, so now that the weather's warmer, I've given up on wearing shirts, and when I get home, I've given up on wearing actual clothes. So a robe it is. It's the only thing you're getting. Anyway, on to Dan Schneider. He was recently, let me rephrase that. Nickelodeon and Dan Schneider recently parted ways amicably. But that's not really a thing around here. We all know that. And the hard thing about this one is that, like, if anybody has ever done anything harmful to children, in my book, done. There's no place in this world for people that hurt kids. There's just not. There's not a place for them. They can go somewhere that's not here. Maybe they can put them in like a space ejection seat or something. I don't know. I don't care. But the hard part about Dan Schneider is, like, I've heard mixed reviews on the guy. I know some people that, have worked with him for a long time and, love him dearly. And then I know other people that are like, he ain't right. So I guess time will tell as to what happens with him. But let's read some of these articles, because in my opinion, it's kind of interesting for, like, they didn't come out, like, the network didn't come out and say, like, oh, he's a pedophile and we got rid of him because of it, or we suspect that he's a pedophile and we can't even maybe get down with people that could be maybe a little. But at the same time, though, there is a lot of ageism in Hollywood and, at networks and studios and things like that. Like, to be, a creative executive or somebody, or a creator of shows like Dan Schneider is, they eventually get rid of you at some point. Like, get up around 40, usually, if you're an executive, and they're like, toodles, we're gonna get somebody younger and fresher and, more importantly, cheaper than senior staff. And that happens to a lot of people. Like, there's a lot of incredible people in this town that got ousted from their, incredible creative positions around 40, 45, depending on who you are. And, they didn't do anything wrong. They weren't inappropriate with children ever, or suspected of being inappropriate with children. They just lost it, and, the studio was like, thank you, goodbye. It's been fun. It's been real. Hasn't been real fun. See you later. And that's, that's fine. It's unfortunate, but it's just the way that these things work. So let us see what has been said about Mr. Dan Schneider, because I think as time goes on, more is going to unfold on it. and we'll find out what the real deal was. But Nickelodeon in particular is such a El Cheapo below scale network that they'll just 86 somebody if there's even a hint of a problem, because there's more where he came from. Let's see here. Vulture. Let's try to pick a winner, folks. All right, let's go with Deadline. I picked Deadline for this story coverage. So if you don't know, that's Dan Harmon, or Dan Schneider. I keep wanting to call him Dan Harmon. It's not correct at all. Not even a little bit. Exclusively updated, Nickelodeon has ended its long relationship with one of its most prolific series creators, Dan Schneider. Following many conversations together about next directions and future opportunities, Nickelodeon and our longtime creative partner, Dan Schneider, Schneider's Bakery, have agreed not to extend the current deal. Sounds like somebody else we know, Brett Ratner, and Warner Brothers. Nickelodeon and Schneider, except Brett Ratner contributed way more to that relationship than Dan Schneider does to Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon and Schneider said in a joint statement to Deadline, since several Schneider Bakery projects are wrapping up, both sides agreed that this was a natural time for Nickelodeon and Schneider's Bakery to pursue other opportunities and projects. Wow, they were really nice to him. That's about as nice as it gets with Dan and his Schneider Bakery team have created a string of lasting, groundbreaking hits over the years, including iCarly, Miranda Cosgrove, Drake and Josh, Victorious, Keenan and Kel, hello, went on to SNL, and current #1 hit show Nickelodeon, Henry Danger. I don't know anything about that show, but clearly it's doing well. The statement continued, we thank Dan and his Schneider's Bakery producers, executives, and social media team for their immeasurable contributions to Nickelodeon, and we wish them the best in their future endeavors. And Dan, okay, I'm just gonna, when you're a professional writer, you don't start a sentence with and. Not a thing, but okay. And Dan and Schneider's Bakery are proud of the work they did together with Nickelodeon and will always remain big fans of the network. The decision comes as Nickelodeon has opted to cancel Schneider's latest series, Game Shakers, after 3 seasons. I hear the network intends to move forward with the 5th season of Schneider's remaining live-action Nick series, Henry Danger. He also has the animated The Adventures of Kid Danger, whose future is unclear. After 3 seasons and 63 episodes, Nickelodeon has wrapped production on its live-action series Game Shakers. Nickelodeon said in a statement to Deadline, we are proud of the show's success and our dedicated and talented cast and crew. Premieres will continue to air throughout 2018. Among other things, I hear there had been multiple complaints of abusive behavior against Schneider filed by members of his staff. Schneider has been Nick's top creator showrunner of live-action comedy hits for the past 2 decades. He is credited in part with discovering such young actresses as Ariana Grande, Amanda Bynes, Jamie Lynn Spears. Nobody had to discover Jamie Lynn Spears. She's the younger sister of Britney Spears. She was a gift from Britney. Victorious Justice, who were cast as leads of his series. But along with all his success for years, Schneider has been under a cloud of suspicion over the treatment of some younger stars of his shows. Among the things that have raised eyebrows are his tweeted photos of the toes of his young female stars. Is this like a baby Tarantino thing? For those of you in Middle America, Quentin Tarantino has an epic foot fetish. Additionally, there have been issues with bloated budgets and long production days on Schneider shows. So no much television. And bloated budgets are a no-no on any network. Schneider, unless you're Netflix, then they don't care. Schneider has had well-documented temper issues for years. He makes television shows, and he works with children, of course. I hear there was a flare-up last week during a meeting he had with Nickelodeon executives where they indicated to him that Game Shakers was not getting renewed for a 4th season. Sources say that Schneider's reaction was, at least in part, due to the fact that Game Shakers was about to wrap production on its third season the following day with a cliffhanger season finale, which would leave fans without closure, and with him without a fourth season paycheck. I hear at the meeting, Schneider was also told that with his other Nick comedy, Henry Danger, on hiatus, another show, I hear it's Austin and Alley's creators Kevin Koplo and Heather Seifert's new Nick series. Oh, get out of the way. See, this is why it's better for me to do the show from something that's not my phone, because my phone's constantly buzzing. Like, it never shuts off. Like, ever. Just lights up like a Christmas tree constantly. Austin Alley creators' new series, Cousins for Life, would move into production space in the Nickelodeon-owned Burbank Studios, which has housed Schneider's series exclusively the past few years. Sources say that Schneider objected to the prospect of having to share the office and production space with a non-bakery show. Scandal! Oh my goodness, we'd have to share a production office. I can't with you. Well, that's the thing about a below-scale network. There is no room for talking or negotiating or anything. We will just get rid. That's just how it goes. Samantha, what do you want? Samantha, what do you want? She wants to do the show, too. Samantha wants to be in the show. Samantha, say hello. Say hello. Well, come over here. If you're going to be on the show, you have to be on the show for real. Okay, now look at them. Say hello. Hello. What can I do for you? What do you want? You see what I deal with? You see what I deal with? What do you want? What do you want? You want food? You've been crying. What do you want? Get down. So nosy. The nosiest. What? You're not supposed to climb on me like this. Get down. Get down. There's food in your bowl. You're not getting any more wet food. It's not happening. Stop it. I'm turning my chair. Now you can't get up there. Deal with it. Nope. Samantha has to deal with it. She has to deal with it. You're not understanding what I'm going through right now. Stop it. Stop it. Do you want to sit on my lap? Is that what you want? Come on. Come on. Come up here. Get up here then. Samantha thinks that she's a lapdog, and she's not, clearly. Oh no, it's no fun to sit in the chair with a person? What a shocker. We do the show together. It's now the No Filter Samantha show, because she does not have a filter either. She just wants to be in my mouth all the time. That's what she wants. You're not a lapdog. Do you see how uncomfortable this is? Do you see? You like it, don't you? She doesn't know what to do with herself now. Ow! Now I'm a launch pad. You had to learn the hard way, that's fine. Any hoozles. So we shall see what happens with that. But, networks that have more money, they can just, squirrel their money making people away. But if they were done with his shows and things were looming, him getting the axe isn't entirely surprising. On top of the age factor, there's other people doing stuff for cheaper and fresher, which is the name of the game when it comes to any production, but children's stuff. Some idiot. Okay, so I'm going to be in Vegas this coming week, and some moron commented in my post about how I should book a group rate at the Las Vegas Hard Rock. I haven't stayed there in a long time. I don't like staying in hotels with a casino in Las Vegas, because then you have to walk across the casino floor to get to your room, and I'm not trying to do that. So, hi Roger Neal, thanks for coming in. Roger, have you ever worked with Dan Schneider at all? Just out of curiosity. Have you heard anything anyway? Because I've heard stuff in both directions. Like, I really don't. I know people that love him, and I know people that are like, no. He's not it. Sorry. Ridiculousness. These dogs are so invasive. They're invasive. You just need to be up in it all the time. But anyway, if you are a podcast listener on either iHeartRadio or iTunes or what's the other one? Google Play. That's the third one. Subscribe to Public House Media and give us a comment, what have you. Send questions into the show. I like it when you guys send questions or comment questions. You can comment questions for the show, or the most popular way to do it seems to be to inbox me questions for the show. And I like the outside perspective. I really enjoy that. Because sometimes I have an answer for stuff and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, that person's a terrible, awful, garbage person. But other times I'm like, no. It's a bunch of nonsense. So stay involved. Send a comment, and also check out some of the other shows on Public House Media, like Rise and Grind, or Babies and Headcanons, or Mediocre Mommy. All of those things are super, super fun. Coffee with Keith and Katie. All their shows are much more uplifting than #NoFilter Friday. They really, really are. So, give it a check it out. See how you like it. They're on at all times of the day. Like, I do a later night show because that's just how we decided to do it when Baxter and I were talking about making the show. But, some of them go on at 6 a.m. or, other ungodly hours. And they have a good time doing it. So thanks for joining me for another #NoFilter Friday here on Public House Media. I will see you guys next week. Oh, hang on. Let's check and see what next week is. What is next week? Next week is the 20th. Something will happen between now and then, we'll do a show about. But I think the show the following Friday, I'm going to make an actual video. So I don't think that one's going to be live. I highly doubt it. So I'm going to make a pre-taped thing for that one. So if you want to contribute to the pre-tape show for not this coming Friday, but the Friday after, the second show from now, send me questions or comments, concerns, etc. I love it when people watch the show and have things that they feel the need to say. So, see you later, kids. Happy Friday from #NoFilter Friday and Public House Media. See you later.